6LoW is used for especially Bluetooth, NFCs, DECT, and all those communication technologies. Now we'll move to the next topic, that is 6TiSCH. It is not a adaptation layer. We can't call this as a adaptation layer, but this is a scheduling scheme given to the MAC layer while using the IP protocol. See here, okay, before going to this topic, the constrained environment, constrained scenarios, where multiple sensor nodes are deployed or multiple smart objects are deployed to send some information and send. Imagine we are using a very low power communication technology like Zigbee, and which is a wireless communication technology, and it has already has its own limitations. And the communication at one side, communication technology has its own limitation. On the other side, the nodes has its own limitation, constrained resources. Network has its own limitation, constrained resources again. With all these limitations, how can I achieve simultaneous multiple transmissions? That is the important thing. Are you all following? See, normal case, when I have a very good infrastructure like a Wi-Fi, when there are multiple senders who want to access this Wi-Fi simultaneously, we are using so many multiple access technologies like CDMA, TDMA, alla hakondo use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Imagine ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, just imagine in the constrained scenarios. ಮೊದಲೇ ಈ ನೋಡ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಟರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮೊದಲೇ they don't have a very effective communication capabilities. It can't send beyond certain range, and they have very, very limited resources. Now, once they send the data, it should reach the destination. Because of the collisions from the other nodes, the data should not be dropped. The chances of collision in the constrained network will be very high. Many nodes are deployed. Why many nodes are deployed? Because we don't have longer range communication schemes. So many nodes are deployed in a shorter region. When everyone starts sending the data simultaneously, that through the wireless medium, the data get collided and you may lose the data. How can we handle these scenarios? How can we handle these situations? So, one additional scheduling mechanism was added to the MAC layer, which supports these constrained scenarios, which works in coordination with the IPv6. That scheduling scheme is 6TiSCH, that is time slotted channel hopping scheme. It is added to the MAC portion, especially in the IEEE 802.15.4, that is Zigbee standard. Even it can be used in few other wireless communication technologies also that you may not be familiar, like wireless HART and ISA 100.11a. We'll limit our discussion to Zigbee only. See, this completely based on TDMA technique, that is time division multiple access technique. And here it always tries to allocate the available bandwidth or the capacity of the channel in terms of time slots to the various neighboring nodes. Is this fine? Is that what? The 6TiSCH will add one additional layer or a sub-layer called as 6-stop. Can you see here? This will be added in between 6LoWPAN and the IEEE 802.15.4e MAC layers. Additional layers or sublayers are inserted between network layer and the data link layer. Which are those additional layers? They are the adaptation layers for the IPv6 or some supporting layers for the MAC. So adaptation layers can be 6LoWPAN and 6Low, or the supporting layer for the MAC, it will be 6stop. See, 6stop is a sublayer that glues between, that attaches the MAC layer and the 6LoWPAN adaptation layer. Next, it provides commands to the network layer from the MAC layer. So it is used for providing the commands from network layer to the MAC layer, network layer to MAC layer and MAC layer to network layer. These are used for performing some routing decisions, configurations related to network layer and the MAC layer, and also the very important thing is schedule management. We'll see that now in the coming slides. See, it uses a time slot structure so that these time slots can be given to multiple senders and who can send the data simultaneously or in an effective manner. It is like dividing a time slot to multiple people so that they can send the data effectively without any issues. Next is here the slots are broken into cells. For example, see, the time will be divided into slots. These slots here is called as a cells. For example, from 8 to now the time, let us take example 8 a.m. 8 a.m. To 8 a.m. 2 seconds is one time slot. So now the period of this time slot is 2 seconds. This time can be again further divided into smaller units called as cells. Maybe like 0.5 milliseconds, 0.5 seconds for each cell may be allocated. This will be shared among 4 senders. 0.5 seconds for 4 senders. So 4 senders can send their data within these 2 seconds of time. Like that. First cell is allocated to one person, second cell is allocated to second person. Now, if there are 4 senders, they try to contend for getting these cells. If there are 5 senders, only 4 people will get a chance. So like that. So it is completely based on contending for a time slot, getting the time slot and sending the data. So we'll see how it works. It has its own methodologies. We'll see all those things. See, we can use this scheduling scheme for unidirectional communication or bidirectional communication also. So nodes can send the data or receive the data. It has 4 scheduling management schemes. The first one is static scheduling. Before going to that is static scheduling. See, all the nodes in the constrained network will share a fixed schedule. You have studied Aloha in the DC. You remember that slotted Aloha? How it works? The slotted Aloha. There will be a time slots. People can send the data only at the beginning of the time slot. In between, they can't send the data. That is slotted Aloha. The same concept is used in this 6TISCH static scheduling. Here, always the slots are fixed. Yes, see, always slots are fixed. Whether you have 10 nodes or 20 nodes, it's like that. The cells means a time slot here. Always you can pick a cell. You can contend for a cell. Nodes can content for getting the access to the cell. Cell andre artha agide alva? It is a time slot now. So there are hundreds of people. If you want to send the data, you can send only at the beginning of a time slot. Only at that time slot you can get the access to the cells. If you get the cell, you can send the data. If you don't get the cell, you should wait for the next time slot. For example, suppose if you have divided the slots like this, for every 2 seconds there is one time slot. Again, these time slots are divided into cells. At the beginning of these 2 seconds, 10 jananu fight ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Everyone start fighting for getting a cell. Only few will get the cells, and they can send the data at their cell interval. Always number of cells is fixed. The slot is fixed. It can't be changed. It remains static. After 2 seconds, again people start contenting. Nanuk cell kodi anta. Yararuk cell sigatto avaru kalistare. So here there will be a coordinate device, and it is taken care by that. Any doubts? So here the size of the cell and the slots are fixed. Always people contend for getting these slots access at the beginning of the slot. Whenever they get a cell, they can send the data. This is how the static technique works. But whether static technique is a good technique? No, because there may be so many other parameters which will dynamically affect the networking scenarios. I can't always fix 2 seconds as a slot. And again, I can't fix number of cells inside this 2 second time slot. So we go with the next technique, that is neighbor to neighbor scheduling. We have something called as neighbor to neighbor scheduling. Here it is partially dynamic based one, but only neighboring nodes will contend for the cells here. Only the nodes which are nearer to me will contend for the cells. There may be other set of neighbors or nodes who will be content for their own cells to get the time slot. See here, cells in this schedule can be added or deleted dynamically based on the requirements and the bandwidth. If the previous one only, always the cell size was fixed. Suppose if you have a time slot of 2 seconds, you may fix it as 0.5 second as a one cell. Only 4 people will get the access to these cells within that time slot. But here, based on the requirement, you can change the number of cells. Suppose 10 people wants the cell at the beginning of the time slot, you can divide 2 seconds into 10 cells. 2 seconds of time slot can be divided into 10 cells. 10 janakku sigatte avaga. It can be like instead of dividing it to 0.5 second cell, you can divide it into 0.2 second cell. So 10 people get the cells and they can send the data within a particular scheduling interval. Arthaita difference. This is second one. We'll take the third one. The third one is completely dynamic. So it is remote monitoring and scheduling management. Here people will not contend for the cells. There will be one coordinating entity or a management entity. He will take care of managing everything. We discussed something called as fully functional devices in the Zigbee networks, meshed network. There will be one head node for it. Inside the PAN, there will be one head node. That head node is called as a management entity here. He is responsible for dividing the time slots. He will give the time slot to everyone people will not contend for it. Nanig beku anta jagla adala. This fellow management entity will share the time slots to multiple people, and based on that it will be based on that they can send the data, and it is purely dynamic. Based it can change flexibly according to the current requirements. That's all. So now